Oh, welcome back to the Rock and Roll channel for I like to call this the quick hitter edition, Brian. Uh, Brian and I just give our takes quickly. We get to the point, and from what I read from people, they like that. We dive right into it. So I told Brian I wouldn't keep him forever today. So I wanted to bring Brian on for just to talk a couple of Florida State coaching changes. He's detailed it beautifully on his shows, but for anybody who hasn't seen his shows, I just want to ask his opinion real quick, and maybe just do like a question or two after that. Ralph, real quick, just want to say aloha to you as well, brother, all the way from
Seminoles.
Hawaii. So Brian, Florida State's made a couple coaching changes, and I'm gonna become the broken I can't stand Mike Norvell record this offseason. It might drive people crazy, but I just have to be honest. We knew coaching changes were coming. Pat Surtain being the first one. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
really convinced if there was a pathway in the hallway that said go to this right to win, go to the right to win, go to the left to lose, Mike would just walk to the left at this point. Um, what was your take on Pat Surtain not being retained? He was fired, which is not good for his career.
I would assume that there's going to be stuff come out maybe 5 years from now, but the unfortunate part of this is it's a legal deal, so they're not going to announce anything for fear
Right.
of ramifications and vice versa. So that sucks for us. But my guess is there's some kind of disconnect. This is common between one coach and another. And
Right.
I said this when he got hired, and we talked about it before. You hired Tony White, who is flat out a zone coach. You already had a man coach in Sertan. That's oil and water.
That's true. I mean,
So
you
I
ever watch him
wondered,
play with the Dolphins?
what's that?
You ever watch him play at Southern Miss and play for the Dolphins?
Yeah. Yeah. I
He was
mean,
as physical and aggressive as in your
yeah.
face as they came, him and
Yeah.
Madison. So I'm sure he adopted that style.
Yeah. So
And
the question becomes, was that the reason? Is there something else? Did the other possibility is that like during off-season meetings, stuff that you may have thought was coming, coaches meet with each other. What do we think's next? He may have said, well, either we go this direction or I need to go. There might have been some conflict. And my guess is strongly that there was.
yeah,
And
it
he
had
wasn't going to walk out the door, so they had to fire him. They're going to have to pay him is the problem. That's
right.
just,
That's why
but
I'm surprised he released that tweet that he did.
I didn't even see it. What was it?
He released a tweet on Friday about around 5 o'clock, basically expressing his anger at the
Yeah.
situation. I forgot it word for word, but I will send you a copy of it.
I
Just
appreciate
basically saying never been fired before. I gave it my all here. It wasn't a thank you Florida State for 3 great years. I'll miss this. It was we
Well,
must not have got along with Tony White this year. That's what I
Mike,
think.
you know how I always say on this show and on Locked On Seminoles and on the Portal podcast and any other pod, I go, players pick coaches. I can tell you firsthand that Sertan is an extremely popular coach amongst recruits. How popular he is once players get at FSU, I don't know. That's a different animal. And, Florida State tries to keep their players away from the media and one-on-ones and stuff for the most part. Let's be honest. They want to control every narrative. But I haven't heard anything bad about him.
No,
But on that end, I have a very bad feeling about how this is going to impact Florida State long term in South Florida recruiting.
I can tell you for a fact it will. I live
Now,
5 minutes from where he coached, as you know. I used to see Pat all the time at the sports bars right near me, just relaxing, hanging out. If I see him again, I'm not going to ask him what happened. I know
right.
I see Aronde Gadsden all the time. He used to play for the Dolphins, and they basically refer to Pat as Uncle Pat here.
That's what I mean. He's a guy that he has the ear of a lot of people. He got great players to come to American Heritage. He's coached,
He built that program.
you know what I mean? He coached professionally. He's coached Florida State. I don't think that's going to end well for Florida State. I
No,
could be wrong, but Coop, the defensive backs coach, other than Sertan, he's a South Florida guy too. That helps. But Sertan's an NFL legend.
yeah,
That's again, and I don't know the full scope of the story. I just
me
know that
neither.
in recruiting, that's probably going to be negative.
Yeah, and they don't report that
It is
stuff
what it is.
anymore. The websites they used to write a little backstory of like
Mhm.
I love to give examples. I'm sorry. Like when Napier left FSU, remember he was there for like 14 days, 12 days back in 2013.
Yep.
There was a story that came out how livid Jimbo was about it.
There you
We're
go.
not hearing stories anymore about that. And if I see Pat, I would never ask him. I don't even know him. He's just
Yeah,
one of my favorite NFL players of all time.
great
But
player.
I can tell you he was so, and it came out right away on social media. Lil Wayne McCoy upset. Um, I'm trying to remember Earl Little Jr., who played for him here. Uh,
What coincidence? Two South Florida guys. Shocker.
mhm. Yeah, and there was a couple others. I can't remember the name, so I don't want to say it. I like to be somewhat right. Um, but they came out and they were doing like this emoji, like right away. And you already got guys questioning being there to begin with in the first place for as bad as we've been. Now you do that. I'm sure if you ask Pat to be more zone and do that, he could teach it.
Oh yeah, he knows all this stuff.
He
It's
knows
just,
everything.
but what's best for the program and all that, and that may not have been what it was. There may have been something else. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's my guess.
I
You
had
know,
someone text me. Maybe we know where the black guy on Mike Norvell came from now. But
touche.
touche. I cracked up on that one. Um, but I'll throw some strays. I don't care. So we were just talking about FSU added Nick Williams yesterday,
Yeah.
former Georgia player, regarded as a pretty, I don't know, elite recruiter, but highly regarded recruiter in the country. Spent time at Georgia with Kirby, Colorado with Dion. I was familiar because I remember every now and then when I'd watch their YouTube videos, Colorado. I saw him coaching and working with the guys, and he gets after it. We don't
Yeah,
have that many of those coaches.
he's a vocal dude.
My issue was, and from Norvell down, the body language just wasn't great. We had a lot of older guys who were much more reserved, especially at the end of like the Jimbo times, how that was too. I want a guy who's going to get in your face and do that. And for whatever reason, I thought Pot Roast would be like that this year, and he was even a little more reserved. So that's why I thought Tony White was probably out the door, one way or another, because Pot Roast is a Tony guy. But I think going back is I think with Pat being released, or however you want to call it, that means Tony's staying. Would you say that?
Barring something unforeseen, I mean, he could leave on his own accord, but I
Sure.
don't think he will be pushed out the door by FSU.
Mhm.
So I'd be surprised if you would fire the DB coach first and then fire the coordinator. Usually you just fire the coordinator and then let the next guy come in and then that sorts itself
The
out. So
ripple effect, yeah.
yeah, so I don't
And,
think that's the case.
and then it's not as bad PR because then the new coach just brought in his own people. We were just talking about Nick. What was your take on that hire? I was just surprised because the impression I got was with the 3-3-5, you just need one coach to coach the whole D line. With Pot Roast, which you did at Nebraska too. So bringing in a DN coach, I was surprised just for that alone. What was your take?
Well, I think this twofold. Since your Surtain's not back, maybe Coop is going to coach the entire secondary. That's possible. Secondarily, I think this is as much a recruiting thing as it is anything else because D linemen are so important. And remember, this was year one of Tony White's system, and it is a very convoluted 3-4, 4-3, 3-3-5. Like it's got a lot of stuff. Having two guys up front, I don't think is a bad idea.
I agree.
So defensive end didn't work this year. Like the outside linebacker, Amari is the most important player for next year's team, which should never be the case because Florida State should always have elite pass rushers. They've got one. Amari's the only guy that fits the profile of a true 7 technique wide, get on the edge and come off that screaming speed. He's the only guy they have. And he was okay, but they were playing him at tight end and DN. So
I was going to say we haven't done him any favors.
I know. So he needs to play DN if he's going to play in the NFL now or play tight end. He can play either, but he needs to pick one and just go for it. Beyond that, obviously Williams was okay at times, but like he's just a guy. They need some other guys to come in. They got the JUCO kid. I forget his name. That's a pretty good player. We're going to see real quick. What's that?
Jaden Jones?
No. The kid they just signed out of the Mississippi school.
Got you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Okay.
He might be the guy that competes. Maybe he wins the job. Who knows?
Yeah.
But they've got to be able to run some more 4-3 stuff on 3rd and 8 and just drop 7 and rush 4. They couldn't pass rush with 4 hardly at all. And even with the Twins, like they're pretty good pass rush, but they're still more power guys. Right. They will be far more impactful if the edge players, true edge players, are able to get some of the attention. And then the Desir twins And they got KJ Sampson, somebody like that can collapse the pocket. Florida State should have one of the best fronts in the country next year if the edge improves, because the difference between a freshman and sophomore, you got the big fella in the middle, and then you got the Desir twins. They got a ton of experience back. Daniel Lyons. I think they'll have one of the best fronts in terms of talent. Last year, it didn't even come close to reaching this, but not even the stratosphere.
I think, yeah, I love your optimism there. I think the Desir twins really benefit off the pressure Daryl Jackson took off them this year.
Oh, I do too. That's the thing. But like, we'll talk more about it. But like, just raw talent, there won't be 10 teams in the country that have better defensive tackle, because I think the Desir twins long term are defensive tackles.
Yeah, for sure.
Problem is, you can't start everybody at D tackle. One of them's going to have to play that 5-tech strong side end. It is what it is, and they got the real big fella in the middle. Again, I'm just going to leave that alone because that's a rabbit hole. He's only going to be a sophomore next year. They got guys. Now the question,
Kevin Wynn?
What's that?
Kevin Wynn you're talking about? Okay.
Yeah, with Daniel Lyons for one more year to learn. Like, I'm telling you, if they coach it right, I still think this is the wrong defense for the players they have. I'm just going to say it. If they ran a 4-3 with these guys, they would kill it, but they don't. But they're going to have to morph a little bit more, and you can still do it to a certain degree. But the problem with that outside edge spot is it drops sometimes. It's complex. How to position yourself, the exact technique, when to drop, how to read things. That's all stuff that's between the ears. It's not the physical part. Football's complex, man. This is NFL. This is more of an NFL scheme, in my opinion.
Right.
And that's okay, but this is not the New York Giants. This is the Florida State Seminoles. So it takes a while for kids to learn it. Sometimes they don't ever pick it up. It's high risk. But when it works, you get a lot of turnovers.
Why do we always praise those players who have high IQs? Because that's such a difference out there.
Yeah,
Jared Verse, he was a freak and looks like he came out of central casting. But Jared Verse's IQ was through the roof.
Remember now, when he went to the Rams, he didn't play in a 3-4 at FSU. He moved to linebacker and immediately figured it out. Yeah, I was like, I don't know if this is going to work. He was the NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year. And I was like, okay, well, he figured it out. So
he figured it out. And you also had Braden Fisk, who learned the playbook in like 2 days.
That's what I mean. It's like,
it was like, I'm not going to be denied, and learn the playbook.
The difference between winning and winning elite. So good for those guys. Florida State doesn't have that right now.
And I'm not saying we do. I'm just saying from an IQ standpoint, which I'm so glad you brought up.
I think the Desir twins have it. It's only 1 year, but now that teams have seen their film, now that teams have seen Kevin Wynn at least a little bit, they know what Daniel Lyons is. He's not a great player, but he's pretty good. Need KJ Sampson to step up too. I always thought he was going to be really good. He's just all right, but he's 320. You know what I mean? Like you something around there. If they figure that out, they can be the best run defense in the ACC next year. Even with Miami's going to lose a lot.
Yeah,
but if they
don't
figure out the scheme, they'll be awful again. This is all between the ears. It's not a physical problem if Florida State doesn't have a good. And I'm just going to call it now. It will be on the coaches if Florida State's run defense is not elite next year. Not good, elite.
That's what I said to myself. I didn't see. Man, like Florida State in their prime, all right, maybe they had the gifts, but they were just nasty and they were going to give you hell on the field. And you had to counter that if you wanted to be successful. I didn't think they had that competitive edge last year.
They didn't run. They ran a generic scheme.
It was so generic, and they played generic in their head.
Yeah, they did. We're coming after you. We're going to out-athlete you. We're going to play man coverage. We'll mix in some zone here or there. We're going to play man. We're going to make you get rid of the ball quick and rally to the ball. That's it.
Yeah, even the Jimbo defenses, when Jimbo was laser focused, they came after you. Those guys. The 2013 team, we could talk about Jameis and all those guys, but as we talked about the first time you came on the show, it was the Timmy Jernigans, Eddie Goldmans. Those were the guys that keep you up at night. I know we don't have those kind of 5 stars, but they played even harder than a 5-star rating.
Yeah, they kicked the butt, man. And it was second down and 9 all day when you tried to run. They figured it out when you were in play action. They were a smart group. And they play hard. You know,
I remember David Pollack before the Clemson game said, I don't care about any other matchup, any other thing. They don't block Timmy Jernigan up front. This game is a wrap early. And that's what happened. I know I'm going back. I got a question for you, Brian. For my buddy Gianni. Great dude. Brian, do you like the West Florida quarterback, Marcus Stokes? He thinks it would be a good way to stick it to UF, but he does believe in Sperry if need be.
I saw Stokes at the Elite 11 finals in Los Angeles in 2022, and he's got a cannon, but he was a kid that was very raw. I have no idea. Like then, I wasn't super high on him because I thought he was just all arm talent. I need to see him throw the ball, feather it over the linebacker. He tried to throw everything 100 mile an hour, but that's 3 years ago. I have no idea what he's like now, but he's had some pretty good stats. But he's playing West Florida. I have no idea who's coached him and all that, but the arm talent is tremendous. I have no idea if he's an option, but I mean, they should at least take it as a consideration. He's a Jacksonville kid. He was committed to Florida, and maybe that's a situation where Florida State should kick the tires at least. I did a pod yesterday about the Colton. Was it Colton Joseph?
Joseph, I was going to ask you about him. Well done.
I don't know if Florida State will go down that road. I went on the record on my show several times, and I'll say it again here. I would rather take a guy that's going to compete with Kevin Sperry and the other players on the quarterback roster and not spend a ton. I'm getting ready to do a show right after this on the Portal podcast talking about Sam Levitt. That's really intriguing. He's going to hit the portal, the Arizona State quarterback. Yeah, that's what I think. It's probably going to be about $4 million. I'm going to go ahead and call it right now. This won't make many people on this channel happy. Calling it right now. Miami Hurricanes. That's where I think he'll play next year.
Yeah. Just all you got to do is a guy like him, you say, who spends the most on quarterbacks. It's
Miami and Oregon. It's Miami and Oregon.
Miami, Oregon type of guy. Yeah. I agree. And somewhere
if Dante leaves Oregon, they might be in the mix, but it's hard to say if he'll leave. And he's making a ton of money there. But if he leaves, they would be probably one of the two.
And
he's from Oregon, by the way. He's from
right. And speaking of portal quarterbacks, Dante Moore is the exception that said, let me go somewhere and learn a little bit.
Right.
Be a backup, learn the system, and come in a lot more ready than being thrown into the fire. You're not going to see that. And what sold Tommy on coming to us last year also was, you're the starter, you're the guy. This year, are we recruiting based on you're coming in to compete, no guarantees, or you're the guy? At some point, we have to start developing guys we've recruited.
That's what I've talked about for a while. It sucks, but would you rather go 8-4, 9-3 next year with Levitt or whoever, fill in the blank, but then lose them and be back to square one, or would you rather go 6-6, 7-5 next year with somebody like Kevin Sperry, then have everybody back in 2027 and actually have a good football team?
That's a great point. And the difference with us and Miami spending a boatload on him is Miami doesn't have the holes on so many other positions as we do. We have a D-line we have to fix. I know you like it in some ways, but they
can't rush the pass. We're going to have to spend something on a big-time pass rusher too, and there may not be one.
Right. We have, except for tight end, we don't really have a position that we can say, okay, we're okay coming in next year. And who knows if Landon stays, because we did him no favors this year. So I don't know. That's why we have so many holes to fill. It's like if you have money allocated, you're going to have to spread it out more.
I'd say running back's in a pretty good spot because I just don't think it was coached properly. We'll get into that in a second. But
yeah, your team, you're doing it. Thank you. David Johnson, back to coaching changes. Mike Norvell's running back the coach the last 6 years. Goes back with Mike from Memphis days and a Louisiana native, and he's going to Arkansas to coach under Ryan Silverfeld, who he was friends with at Memphis as well. And I think it's a great move for him because he can start fresh. He gets a brand new deal. He's not with the coach on a hot seat now. What did you think of that? I think it just made sense on every level.
Everybody should benefit from this. I don't know the next running back coach. No idea. But I have never in my life, and I've followed football for a very long time, and especially started following the coaching stuff for about almost 30 years. I've never seen a team have the weirdest in and out of the lineup running back rotation that Florida State had. I mean, they got some guys like Cam got hurt early and some other. There was a few things with that.
He redshirted this year, right?
I think he earned a red shirt. Having stated that, there'd be a guy that was healthy that would get one carry, then the next game he'd get 8. And then it would rotate. It was just so weird. Like there was no consistency. They've got 3 or 4 guys that could be a lead back at the P4 level. But like, I'll put it to you like this, somebody that everybody knows. when he was at the Under Armour game, Jeremiah Love was a kid I knew a little bit, and I was covering a lot of different guys. He got 3 carries in the Under Armour All-American. Nobody gets a lot. He didn't understand. He was a high school kid, and he said to me after, man, I didn't even get lathered up. That's an all-star game, and I explained that to him. Once you're at it, the college level, whoever the hot guy is, he gets carries. Look at Jay Paul and what he did for Florida. They've got some other good running backs at UF. I can assure you, they didn't need to give it. Jaden, you want the ball?
With the hot hand.
Yeah, if he's good, let's roll.
Yeah. It's like if you have a pitcher in baseball who's throwing a gem, you sit there and say, let's go to a reliever. Like,
right.
I could not for the life of me understand that all year.
Yeah.
Chroma, you never let him. Like, I don't sit there and say, okay, Chroma took his lumps this year. He's better for it going into next year. He never got that opportunity. There was so much of that. I don't, for the life of me, will never understand, especially with a Gus Malzahn, who's known for, I want a bell cow. Yeah. So there was something there. I'm so glad you said that. So I think it makes sense. I don't think Johnson handled the rotation per se as much.
I don't know. Usually the position coach is the one that does that at a school. But if there was Malzahn always rode one guy when he was in UCF. So that's why I think it was Johnson. I could be wrong, but
that's a Gus and Mike thing, because running back coach for the years used to just really be a recruiting position.
Yeah, I mean, that's the easiest spot to coach. They got, I mean, like Chrome is going to be an NFL player. And they got some other guys that are at least sniff the NFL, at least get to the combine. But nobody was consistent with the carry. So I'm just going to say it. It's best for all parties. Now the question is, who do you hire? We'll figure that out.
Yeah, I think that was a Mike and Gus thing on the rotation. His job is just to facilitate them in the bullpen.
That's crazy.
But I don't think he was as good a recruiter as we hoped in some ways. We had to mortgage the university to get Chroma last year. Even Georgia said at one point, we're not giving the money they're asking. And I don't know what the number was, but that's all I heard there. So final thoughts, Brian. Are you surprised so far? Are you like me, where the engine is so broken that I don't care if you fix the door handle on the car or give it an oil change?
There's a little bit of that. I think the Surtain thing will be a negative long term, but we won't know till next season, so there's no reason to harp on it. You got to see if they do bring in somebody else, if anybody else leaves. I will say this in a parting shot. Florida State, like any other school, needs to have all their ducks in a row with whatever coach or coaches come and go, because the portal opens on January 2nd. You not only need that next coach in the room, you got to have a chance for him to meet with the players at that spot that he's going to coach. And these guys come and go, and then you can get on the phone and start getting an idea with agents, like, who do we go after? Mm-hmm. There is no freebie time here. You don't get any extra time for changing coaches. The portal's coming whether you're ready or not. Every day matters. So are they going to do anything else? Is it going to be a long process? Because like some of these running backs might be like, screw you guys, because they're getting phone calls. Chroma's getting phone calls. You got to fix that like right away. That's just nature.
Like is getting phone calls.
You know what I mean? Like Auburn just hired a coach. Florida just hired a coach. There's no way Chroma's agent and representative isn't getting calls from those kind of schools. Georgia, guaranteed. That's the lock. Clemson, Clemson's desperate for a running back. Can you imagine what they would probably pay Chroma right now? Although they wouldn't admit it because they don't like NIL. Probably a lot, because their running back room is
local church will subsidize it at Clemson. Question for my friend Ralph real quick. Why is JP still here? Oh, man, that's the $1 million question. Or whatever.
Well, I mean, if you got rid of Surtain first, I don't have any faith.
I think he has dirt on Mike. I'm just kidding. But I agree with you. They're all getting calls. Now, someone tried to explain, I think it was on Cameron's show, that these guys signed 2-year deals, 3-year deals, but they're as meaningful as and nothing. So I agree. They're all getting calls. They're all getting numbers. You wonder sometimes if a coach slow plays a player early on, so their number doesn't go up on the market. You wonder if there is some of that going on.
It's possible. It's all business.
It's all business now. I don't think Mike's smart enough to do that.
Right.
Because this is a guy, NIL hit him in the face 3 years ago in a way he couldn't realize. Yes, I'm going to be negative on Mike this offseason. I'm still going to talk about the team. I'm still going to try to make sense of it because I love this program, even though I don't come across like that in some ways now.
It's hard to be positive right now.
Yeah, I just can't be, and I'm just not one to sugarcoat or anything. But real quick, you talked – last question, I promise. January 2nd, the portal opens, but they're still playing games. So how does it work for those teams and those players?
When let's say a team goes to the national title, like Ohio State ND, they get 5 days after that's over for the players to come and go. So,
Okay.
yeah, if
'Cause,
you
like,
wanted to enter during that time, you still could, but they get an additional, like if they don't want to do it, be a distraction, there's a time after the games are over for those squads.
okay. I was wondering because, like, there's games that second or that first. Yeah.
That is correct.
But Brian, thank you so much as always. Hey, tell them where to find you once again. Take it
Absolutely.
home.
Locked On Seminoles every day of the week, 3 a.m. audio, YouTube at 5 a.m., but Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your pods. And I'm also easy to find on social media, in particular on X, FB Scout _ Florida.
Right. And if you get a chance, go back to Brian's show from today, obviously. And yesterday he talked about Colton Joseph, broke that down.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't want to bring that up because I want people to go to your channel and see it. I want to thank everyone in the comments. This makes it so much more fun. Ralph from Hawaii, Spartanville, Gianni, my buddy, T-Town 813 Trouble City, and Sharon once again, who believes in JP, and that's fine. That's what makes football so interesting is you can get one topic and 12 different opinions. It's the only sport really like that, especially in the college level because there's so many other variables. But Brian, thank you for your time as always. Oh, Jake, buddy, thank you. Good to hear from you. Brian, thank you for your time as always. I appreciate it. Happy holidays, everyone. Yeah, I think that's it for now. Take care, and let's see what Mike has in store for us today. College football world is still reeling. I don't say reeling, but the playoffs. I mean, I just crack up how ESPN said this is the most controversial decision they ever made. Okay, way to forget from 2 years ago. Okay, Brian, anything else?
That's it, brother.
Take care, everyone, and we'll be back.